It is the future that we are trying to build today. It's an honor and a privilege, esteemed guest, to welcome you to this annual gathering organized by the Lebanon Association of the Chief Information Officers, CIOs, where innovation and collaboration take center stage. Each year, the event provides a platform to reflect on the challenges and opportunities shaping our digital future. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Pierre Eid, CIO of Azadea Group and President of CIO Lebanon Association.
Good morning and welcome to our sixth annual CIO Lebanon event. Excellency Minister of State for Technology and Artificial Intelligence, Dr. Kamal Shhade, representing the Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaf Salam, honorable ministers and deputies, distinguished keynote and guest speakers, esteemed executives, IT leaders, and honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, أهلا وسهلا فيكم. First, allow me to reflect briefly on our journey. When we founded the CIO Lebanon Association in 2012, we were just 9 IT leaders. And today, we have grown into a network of 44 active members across 11 industries, united by our passion for innovation and progress. Our mission is bold and clear: empowering technology leaders in building connections and sharing insights, working with vendors in defining clear standards and leveraging their expertise to enhance our operations, collaborating with universities to prepare the next generation of innovators. I extend my sincere thanks to our organizing team, sponsors, and partners. Your trust enables us to contribute to Lebanon's digital progress. Despite political and economic challenges, we never lose face. We persevered because we believe in this country's potential, in its talent, and in the unshakable resilience of its people. We stand here today as proof that no obstacle can dim Lebanon's drive for progress. نحن شعب طموح، ذكي، مبدع، مثابر، بس بتعرفوا السبب الرئيسي لاستمراريتنا بهالبلد؟ أنا حابب أخبركم عن تجربتي بالشركة اللي أنا بشتغل فيها. وأنا أكيد كثار من زملائي عندهم قصة مشابهة لي. أنا الاي تي دايركتور بجروب أزادية. من لبنان نعمل ديفلوبمنت وديبلويمنت لاي تي سولوشن للجروب تبعولنا. ومن لبنان بنأمن ليفل 1 وليفل 2 سبورت لل 15 بلد اللي موجودين فيه. يعني عم تحكوا 900 بلس ستورز. ولا مرة من 2019 لليوم ولا مرة اجت المانجمنت وقالت لي بيير الوضع خطير بلبنان، لازم تسكر الديبارتمنت، انتقل على غير بلد وفيك تدير الاي تي اوبريشن من غير بلد. هالقد كان عندهم ثقة فينا انه قادرين نلاقي حل لحيلا مشكلة ممكن نواجهها. مع العلم انه كل المشاكل هي مشاكل uncontrollable كلكم تعرفوها. بس بلشنا نحضر بلان A وبلان B وبلان C، وبتعرفوا لما يكون عم يتحضر هيك بلانات كلها مكلفة. بس الحمد لله نجحنا وقدرنا قدرنا نواجه كل الصعوبات، وهيدا بفضل دعم المانجمنت تبعولي. أنا من هون بدي حيي كل صاحب شركة، كل تشيرمان، كل سي اي او مآمن بهالبلد، لأنه إذا نحن اليوم موجودين ومستمرين فيه هو بفضلكم، وهيدي السقفة لإلكم. This year's theme captures our shared vision for the future. Today, we focus on how Lebanon can transform digitally, strengthen its security, and cultivate a new generation of leaders ready to guide the nation into a smarter, more connected era. Artificial intelligence is redefining the way we work, think, and create. It offers us the power to be more productive, innovative, and efficient. But it also challenges us to adapt, learn, and lead with wisdom. Let us reflect together. How can Lebanese enterprises use AI for sustainable growth? What investments in skills and infrastructure are needed to unlock AI's full potential for Lebanon's economy? Digital transformation opens doors, but also new vulnerabilities. AI empowers us, yet it also equips malicious actors with new capabilities. We must ask ourselves, how do we defend against sophisticated AI-driven attacks? How can we foster a culture of vigilance and security awareness across every level of our organizations? And in this era of rapid change, true leadership connects generations. Our organizations succeed when experienced professionals and young digital talents work together, bringing different strengths and ideas. We should reflect on how we can build bridges between generations of leaders. How do we foster a spirit of mentorship, inclusion, and teamwork? As we begin today's session, we are looking forward to hearing from His Excellency to share his thoughts and visions on how AI might impact our country's future. Additionally, there is much excitement in the room as we are all await the exceptional keynote address from Mr. Carlos Ghosn. Following that, our distinguished panelists will join us to address the questions that I raised and those yet to come. I invite each of you to engage, question, and share. Let this gathering be a reminder that technology is not just a tool, it's a bridge to hope, opportunity, and national renewal. As I conclude, I can only say, let's work together for a brighter, smarter, and stronger Lebanon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pierre Eid. I would like to invite on stage Dr. Adib Chreif, General Manager of the Middle East Airlines Training and Conference Center, Head of IT at Middle East Airlines, representing Chairman Mohammad Hout.
صباح الخير جميعا. اهلا وسهلا فيكم. دولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء ممثلا بالوزير كمال شحاتة، اهلا وسهلا فيك. معالي الوزراء، معالي النواب، رؤساء الجامعات، اصحاب الشركات، القوى الامنية، الاجهزة الامنية، مدير عام الطيران المدني، اهلا وسهلا فيكم. وزملائنا بالمهنة الصعبة بالاي تي، هاو الجنود المجهولين. انا بدي احيي السي اي اوز حقيقة. مرة تعرفنا كنا باجتماع بإير فرانس وكان جنرال مانجر تبع إير فرانس موجود. فمحمد الحوت عم بيعرفوا علي يعني قال له الهيد اوف اي تي عندنا بالميدل ايست. قال لي تو يعني سولدا انكوني، انت الجندي المجهول. قلت له ليه انا الجندي المجهول؟ قال لي لانه وقت كل شيء شركه ماشي ما حدا بيعرفكم انتم بالاي تي، وقت شغله صغيره جوز رونج هيدي الاي تي، هي الاي تي. فتحيه لسي اوز حقيقه اللي هن هن اللي عم بيخلوا الشركات تنمى، وهن اللي عم بيوصلوا الشركات الى اعلى المستوى. انا بنصح ونحن مارسناها بالميدل ايست انه السي اي او يكون موجود بالبورد دائما بالديسيجنز، لانه كل الديسيجنز اليوم بدها اي تي. any activity بالشركه it needs IT. any activity it needs strategic CIO decisions about the IT issues. بس اعطيكم فكره صغيره عن السنتر. نحن هون هالسنتر ميدل ايست ايرلاين تريننج سنتر في two organizations, one for the training and another one for events. Training لانه الايرلاين business is very regulated business and it needs licensing in any activity. اللي بيشتغل يعني الكابتن بده كل 6 اشهر يعمل سيميليتر. المضيفه عندها سيت اوف كورسز زي ما تكون لايسنس بدها تكون عملتهم وناجحه فيهم. اللي بيشتغل على الارض نفس الشيء. It's very regulated business and it needs a lot of training. فكان الحاجه انه نحن نبني our own academy, our own training center لنقدر نغطي حاجات الميدل ايست بهالموضوع. وعم نغطي مش بس الميدل ايست، حقيقه في عندنا شركات من برا بتجي، يعني من قبرص سايبروس ايرويز بيجوا بيتدربوا عنا. عندنا طلبات من العراق، عندنا ناس من طلبات من الهند. حتى الايرباص كانوا اجوا عملوا ديسكشن معنا، بدهم ياخذوا السنتر ليعملوا يستعملوه كتريننج سنتر للريجن ككل. ف in addition to the training طبعا في corporate training وفي leadership teamwork and كل الاكتيفيتيز. in addition في عندنا event center اللي هو one of the الاوديتوريوم هيدا. وفي عندنا بالطابق الثالث طبعا صالات كثير حلوه بتشوفوها اليوم بعد الظهر، عندنا غدا فوق جميله جدا كيترد للايفنتس، يعني عاملين لها ديزاين لايفنتس ومجهزه بكل شيء اوديو فيجوال كل التفاصيل. in addition عندنا we built a hotel حد السنتر هون قريبا حنفتح وصار جاهز. ناطرين يجي الفرش من برا لحتى نفتتحه. هذا الاوتيل كمان كيتر الايفنت، يعني بصير في عندنا ايفنت كبير بينعمل هون، بيجوا من المطار بيقعدوا بالاوتيل بيعملوا الايفنت بيرجعوا بيسافروا بيروحوا. فاهلا وسهلا فيكم. وهذا السنتر نحن طبعا صار عندنا كونتينوس ايفنت فيه، يعني دائما كل جمعه في عندنا ايفنت صار موجود. تشيرمان مصر يقدمه فور فري، عم نقدمه فور فري. نحن ما عم ناخذ اجراته ابدا، لانه معتبرها هو سوشيال بارتيسيبيشن من الميدل ايست بالدايناميزم تبع الايفنتس بلبنان، وعم بيشجع هذا الموضوع. فاهلا وسهلا فيكم بالمؤتمر الاي تي سي اي او. هذا سي اي او نحن بالبلد يعني البارتنرز تبع الاي تي هم السبلايرز، نحن الكاستمرز اليوزرز، طبعا جامعات وستودنتس والجفرمنت. معالي الوزير السي اي او لبنان فيها اهم ناس حقيقه بالاي تي بالبلد. يعني عندك البيج برين واللي عندهم اكسبيرينس فيري لونج اكسبيرينس. فعندك جمعيه كونسلتنت فور فري، اي شيء بينعاز للجفرمنت نحن حاضرين تو سبورت، وما بندفعك مصاري ولا بناخذ تي في ار. اهلا وسهلا فيكم، ما حطول كثير. انجوي ذا داي، ان شاء الله بيكون نهار برودكتيف. الى اللقاء على الظهر كمان نتغدى سوا. يا اهلا وسهلا.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adib Chreif. It is now time for the opening address of this annual gathering. CIO Lebanon is privileged to have as the patron of this event His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Lebanon, Dr. Nawaf Salam. His patronage reflects the importance of innovation, technology, and leadership in shaping the future of our nation and the region. An importance that was reflected by creating the Ministry of AI, led by Dr. Kamal Shehadeh. Dr. Shehadeh holds a bachelor degree from Harvard University with another distinction and a PhD from Columbia University, along with various roles in Lebanon and abroad in telecommunication and regulations. Dr. Shehadeh brings to Lebanon a wealth of knowledge. Please join me in welcoming His Excellency, Dr. Kamal Shehadeh, the Minister of Artificial Intelligence.
صباح الخير. باسم دولة الرئيس مجلس الوزراء دكتور نواف سلام بشكركم لدعوتنا لهالمؤتمر، وكمان بوصلكم تحياته وتمنياته لنجاح هالمؤتمر. مثل ما تفضلت جيسي وقالت، دولة الرئيس بيعتبر انه التحول الرقمي بالبلد ككل National Digital Transformation أولوية بالقطاع العام وبالقطاع الخاص. وهيدا شيء اليوم مش بس أولوية لإلنا، هيدا جزء من إصلاحات عم تقوم فيها الدولة والحكومة بالأخص بعدة ميادين. خليني اليوم انتقل واحكي عن الموضوع يلي بيهمكم أكثر شيء، يلي هو موضوع استراتيجية الوطنية، الرود ماب يلي طرحتها من أسبوع. من كم يوم كنتوا جزء منكم كانوا موجودين. الاستراتيجيز ما بتتغير من جمعة للتانية. بقى رح ارجع اعرض هالاستراتيجي وركز شوي على دوركم انتم اكثر كسي اي اوز. هلا كانوا واعديني بمايك لانه صعب تبقى واقف محل واحد انا. Okay, good. Thank you. So let me start by introducing the ministry that I represent here. I represent ministry. Obviously, I have to. We are a startup ministry in a startup republic in an ancient land and an ever young nation. This imposes a big challenge and a big responsibility. The reason this ministry was established is to address first the citizen pain points all of you experience on a regular basis. Just as you, as CIOs, you're not just there to keep the lights on and the computers humming. You are there to support the whole of the business, from the conception of products and services all the way to the delivery and dealing with customer complaints. It is a value chain that you cover from end to end. Similarly, I think I have it. Is it good? Okay. The pain points that citizen experience that I will go through very quickly are known to all of you. One, we have substandard services, citizen services. People suffer to get what they are rightfully entitled to. Second, they have to pay fees for intermediaries. أعطيناهم تايتل، سميناهم سماسرة، صاروا جزء من السوشيال فابريك والاقتصاد، ومشكورين عم بيقدموا خدمة لأنه بركي بلاهم ما بدكم، بس هذا مش شيء طبيعي. 3. الأساليب يلي بتستعمل. paper-based, and very lengthy. Not only that, you have to go from one place to another. You need multiple approvals, no matter what you want to do. And it makes no sense whatsoever, except that this is the way it was done in the 19th century. We carried it over to the 20th, ومكملين the 21st. But this is not only about citizen pain points, it's also about addressing a broader economic challenge. And for that reason, this ministry was established. And I have to say, established in the sense that the office of the Minister of State was established. The draft law that is establishing this actual ministry has now gone to Parliament. The ball now is in Parliament's court, and I'm happy to see my dear friend Elias Hankash here, counting on you to push it forward to carry the ball across the line. You all have to do it. So what is this ministry supposed to do? One, it's to develop a strategy and to work on policy. Second, is to work on the public digital infrastructure, DPI, which every single country in the world has had to develop so that entities can talk to each other, address the problem of interoperability, and allow transactions to take place. But it is more than that. It's also about attracting investments to the digital economy. And it's about developing partnerships with the global tech companies, which we started doing. And finally, it's about ensuring that the ecosystem is supportive of the technology infrastructure, but also the technology companies. So what do we have? What have we set as goals? What's gone to the Council of Ministers are objectives that we have committed to, that if we stick to this strategy, we will deliver in 5 years. And our goals are very simple. They have to do with, first of all, the overall economy and turning this industry, the industry that you represent, to about 10% of GDP. That's not a very ambitious thing. I think it's not going to happen automatically. It's going to take a lot of work. 10% is where today the tech industry's contribution is in the United States. Singapore is at 24%. In terms of the UAE, the non-oil economy, it's thereabouts even higher. So it's up to us to take the challenge. So, one, get to about 10%, raise labor productivity. Of course, this is something you deal with every day. We also have as an ambition to rise up the ranks in the global rankings. Today, Lebanon is ranked number 84 in artificial intelligence and governance of AI. There's no reason why we cannot be in the top 20. If you look out of over 140 countries, but they don't all report accurately. Yes, but we do have things that go in our favor. We can talk about that in more detail. And it is also an objective to raise $500 million over the next 5 years. Why did we pick 500? It's because during the short period during which Circular 331 was in effect, about $470 million went into the tech industry. In the short 7 years, about $500 million, or 770 million exactly, went into the tech industry. Over the last 5 years, that number, the cumulative number, is no more than 5 million. That's how bad things have been for the tech industry. And those of you who deal with issues like cybersecurity, you can attest to the underinvestment that's been made in that area. Very little has gone in that area. The country is not in a good situation. We have to do something about that. This is what you have to do, and I'm sure you spend a lot of your time making the case to your boards about more investment in cybersecurity. So how do we get there? We have thought of and developed our strategy along 4 tracks. These tracks represent one, it's building the legal and regulatory foundation as well as the institutions that will carry the country forward. You all realize that the private sector that's going to do this, and the private sector needs stability, needs the proper regulatory framework, and it starts with having proper laws and regulations and enforcement of these laws and regulations. Second, the second track is about developing the national digital infrastructure and some of the services. This is the digital tech track, which we have started working on. Three, it's focused on talent. And four, it's about developing the ecosystem. Let me address each one very briefly. When it comes to the legal and regulatory foundation, we started with data privacy, which for obvious reasons has been relegated to the backbench. A new draft for a data privacy law, which this ministry, my ministry, and the Ministry of Justice have worked on, will go to the Council of Ministers in the next few weeks. It's a draft law that brings Lebanon's data privacy regulations in line with international regulations. For the last 12, 13 years, there's been a group of people dedicated to developing a strategy and a law for cybersecurity. And it's been just that. It's been sitting in committees, nothing happening. We've taken this draft law, we're pushing it through the Council of Ministers, putting the final touches to it. We will have, over the next few weeks, another draft, this draft, very similar to what was presented, the cybersecurity law that will establish the Cyber Institute that reports to the highest authority in the land, the highest executive authority in the land. This is how things have to be done. There's a slew of other laws and regulations that we're working on. I'm not going to go over the whole list, but one of the laws that I want to mention is the Special Technology Economic Zone. And my friend Lies knows about this because this is where it started in the committee, the tech committee that he sits on. In April, the Parliament approved a draft law establishing the Special Technology Economic Zones. This law, now that it's been enacted, we're working on the decrees to establish these economic zones, which will benefit from having tax-free status. The employees of companies working in these zones that are only export-oriented will also benefit from a waiver on income tax, on custom duties, and on National Social Security Fund contributions, as long as the contract provides an equivalent. And trust me, this was not an easy thing to push through Parliament. But for the first time, we will have these technology-free zones in for hardware, hardware, manufacturing, and for services. So for both. But again, the condition is to be based in this area, in these zones, you have to be totally export oriented, nothing to service the local market. And these zones, I think, will be creating, will attract investors and hopefully help create many more jobs. That's really what we've focused on in terms of building the legal and regulatory foundation. The institutions that each one of these laws calls for will take a long time to establish. I know this. I went through establishing the first telecom regulatory authority, and I realized, like everywhere, it takes time to build a new institution. But I think we should have a sense of urgency here, especially on cybersecurity and on protecting individuals' privacy. The second track is the digital infrastructure. The small team that's been working with me has worked very closely with the Minister of Interior to develop the design, the architecture, and the full RFP for a digital ID. This is ready to be launched anytime the Council of Ministers is ready to do it. digital ID will be the centerpiece of all government transactions conducted digitally. We do have alternatives on how to finance this because, as with everything in Lebanon, it has to do, there's a problem of financing. It's not that there's a lack of political will, there's a question of financing. And part of that is there's a challenge of providing for the continuity, the sustainability of these services. We have designed them to be provided through a private partnership, but at the same time, we're also looking to see how we can generate as much interest in this and get as many services to be using a digital ID. A digital ID by itself ما بتعمل شيء، ما بتنفع حدا. So it's about a digital ID, but then developing a host of other services that will be provided. So my colleagues have also built or developed the national digital infrastructure, which will be developed at the same time as the digital ID, and will also include a unified digital payments platform. And the ambition is to get to a point where you have payments made account to account. Take a second and think about that for a second. Transfers account to account will incur zero fees. Now, that is an innovation, that is something that everybody will benefit from. In addition, I mentioned a number of other services, but my most, if you will, closest to my heart is building the data sets. Because it's easy to develop an AI engine and to use it using synthetic data, or you can develop an agent based on limited training and so on. But if you really want to move Lebanon into the AI age, it's about building the data sets. I'm sure among you, there are not just CIOs, but also data scientists, data strategists, people who understand how you build databases and what you can use them for, and people who understand about data cleaning and data integration and on and on. That, to me, is really, this is the qualitative leap that we will make once we have developed our own databases, starting in healthcare, but also social affairs. It could move to traffic and on and on. It would help us solve policy challenges using artificial intelligence based on real life data. The third track that I'd like to mention, and I'll mention it quickly, it's talent. It has to do with talent. Today, we don't graduate enough people in this field. We understand there are about 3,500 annually who graduate in this area. We should triple it. We should triple it starting in schools. We should direct people into this area. I'm sure today, with the buzz about AI, about agentic AI, about generalized superintelligence, and so on, people are curious. We should take advantage of it. And working with the schools, encourage more people to go into this. We have established today, and you heard it from Pierre, that Lebanese talent is second to none in this area. And the reason it is second to none is because we are, in our DNA, we've learned to be problem solvers. That's what most of you do all day long. Problem solving is a requirement for a good digital ecosystem. And we need to attract more people to go into that field. One of the things we're doing is also developing training for civil servants, but also for national programs, and I'll mention just a couple. With Udacity, we will be offering about 20,000 tuition for free for people to train in courses that are available on Udacity in tech and AI. We're about to sign in the next few days. It's under moratorium, so I can't give too much detail here. For another 50,000 scholarships with one of the big tech companies. The intention is to cover the whole country. When we talk about talent, we look at it irrespective of geographic location, irrespective of socioeconomic background, irrespective of who you are, who you voted for, but also irrespective of your age. People who are in their 50s and 60s should also be given this opportunity to retool, to upskill, be productive members of this new age. And of course, all of this can only be done in partnership with universities. So we're looking for universities to partner with us to provide the training and to provide the trainers who will be sitting in these hybrid type of learning environments. And I'll come back to some of you in the room. كيفك رياض مش ناسي. ويوسف كمان. The fourth track is about the ecosystem. So we've had, we pride ourselves in عنا talent وعنا ناس واثقين. Really, what are we doing? In the last 70 years, we've been graduating talent, producing some of the best talent, and handing them over a ticket to an airline, usually NEA. Thank you very much. قال تفضلوا اطلعوا برعوا برا. Recently, we heard that not only are we good at producing talent for export, but we're able to import services here, work here, have become a back office. We have become a provider of services to groups that are global. You heard from Azadea. You come to BDD, you can visit CMA, CGMs. They have about 250 people working on developing solutions for the whole group. This is the outsourcing model, which is great, but it's still not enough. And I say it's not enough because this is, if you will, it's just scratching the surface only. What else do we aim for? We aim for an ecosystem that produces innovation, that also gives every company that is based here, founded here by bright minds, to raise funding, not only to grow, but to scale up and to go global from Lebanon. That that would be the real indicator that we have succeeded or that we've reached a place, not that فينا نرفع اجرينا ونرتاح وخلص الشغل, but no, just to indicate that this is the right place to be. We have to keep going, but we need to be in a place where the ecosystem allows people, because of funding, because of mentorship, because the ecosystem is supportive, the laws and regulations allow that you can do business. I want to shock you when people say, what do we need to do بالأولين مثلا for the ecosystem to improve? هي نتأسس شركة بلبنان. لا ما تفنس علي. No, مش هالقد هي. We know it's not. But just as important, especially when it comes to the tech field and the tech startup, you also have to have an easy way to wind up a company. Because companies that are launched early stage, many of them do not continue. They don't all pivot to something else. You have to make it easier than what it actually is when it takes to wind up a company. So those are the things we're working on for the ecosystem. And I want to now, the last thing I want to point to is the Lebanese Angel Investor Network. And if anyone is interested, please let me know. After 6 years, there's now a new Lebanese Angel Investor Network. We had Angel Investor Networks, and they did a great job. But for the last 5, 6 years, we started one again. We have a new chairman, and we have a new VC that is managing this process. Maron Shabes is the new chairman. BNY, Abdullah and Laith Yafi are the ones who will offer the support for this. There's a board, and we now have an angel investor network that is connected to other networks. In other words, it's going to be a network of networks linking with diaspora networks, with alumni networks, bring them together so that when there's a company with a great idea, with a great pitch, they pitch it to a broad audience of not just 5 and 10 and 20 people, but to hundreds of Lebanese who may be interested in contributing and investing, and the mechanism It's also part of that. That's what the Angel Investor Network provides. That, to me, is probably one of the most interesting things that we've done in the ecosystem recently. The first pitch event will be announced in the next few weeks. Let me just move to one more thing to mention, actually, with universities. We have signed with a few universities, and next week we'll sign with ASG, St. Joseph, and others coming down the pike, an initiative called Code for Lebanon, where we are recruiting young men and women supervised by their faculty to meet with public sector institutions and think with them, brainstorm, and ideate new technology solutions for their problems. That is how we also give these young men and women a chance to get real life practice. So, 5 years ahead, what would this look like? Very simply, I bring it down to three things. You would have reversed the brain drain, and we go to what I'd love to call a brain gain, where Lebanese diaspora is able to come back and contribute, where young Lebanese do not have to leave the country to succeed. But it's also having an AI powered government, a government which relies on agents to provide services, to review your building application, municipalities, central government entities, and so on. This is a journey that will take years. We started on this, and the ambition is to get to a point in 5 years where about 80% of government services are delivered or cloud based and delivered digitally. And finally, we have a vibrant, innovative ecosystem that produces unicorns. So today, if you were to say that the Lebanese produce unicorns companies that have reached about 1,000 or $1 billion of valuation, you will have to find them abroad. But we have to be able to produce them locally. Let me end with this and take up the invitation from you, Abdul, and Ger. Anyone who's interested to help, roll up your sleeves and let us know. Thank you.
Dr. Shikari, thank you so much. I would like to keep you on stage if I may. And I would like to invite Mr. Pierre Eid. There is a small trophy of appreciation from the CIO Lebanon Association. Thank you so much for all the efforts done to adapt Lebanon to the next generation of AI and its youth. Thank you so much.